Hello and welcome to the tutorial for the interlocking scarf pattern. I have right in front of me a children's size interlocking scarf in the Seahawks colors. And as you can see, they are interlocking. And this is what we're going to be making today. It's not very long. Children's size is more meant to just hang around the neck than it is to wrap around, because you don't want children wrapping things around their necks. Tend to get caught. So let's get started. We'll start with one color, whatever color you're going to be using. You're going to want to use a G hook. I prefer the Susan Bates hooks. This is a 4.0 millimeter. It's a G hook. I have scissors and the colors of yarn that I'll be using. We start with a slip knot, wrap it around your hand, loop through. You've got a loop which can come undone easily. But we don't want it to. Instead, we'd like to insert our needle, our hook, pull tight, and we have a loop on our hook. And in order to do a chain stitch, the first part of this pattern is to chain. If you're doing an adult size scarf, it's a chain 308. If you're doing a child size scarf, to chain 158. We're going to do a child size scarf today. So how you chain is you got your loop on, you'll go under and pull through. That's one. Now you've got loop on and one chain stitch. You do that 308 for an adult size or 158 for a child size. 2, 3, 4, 5. And you can see those chains we have right there. Okay. Do your 158 or 308. If you're a little more advanced in crochet, it needs to be a multiple of 10 plus 8. And I'll meet you here when we have all of our chains completed for the next step. Alright, here we are. I have 158 chains. What we're going to do now is put a triple crochet in the 5th chain from the hook. Let's get you a close view there. This is the first chain. Okay. See if we can get the camera to focus on it. Okay, this is the first chain from the hook here. And the next one is here, so that would be 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're going to put a triple crochet, so we loop over twice, insert into the 5th, loop over, pull through, loop over, pull through, loop over, pull through 2, loop over, pull through 2. We're pulling through 2 3 times, making it a triple crochet. It's kind of hard to see since this color is so dark. But now we have 1 triple crochet and 4 chains that give us the height of a triple crochet. We're going to do that again 3 more times. Loop over twice, go into the next stitch, loop over, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. Into the next chain, loop over, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, And for the last one, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. That gives us what looks like 5 triple crochets in a row. Okay, and then we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then here on the bottom, we're going to skip 5. So we went into this with our last triple crochet. We're going to go to the next one, which is here, and skip 1, skip 2, skip 3, skip 4, skip 5, go into the 6th with another triple crochet. So loop over twice, into the 6th, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. And we're doing that 5 times again, and that is all we're doing all the way back to the end of the chains that we just did. So there's 4. Here's our 5th. And we're just going to chain 5 again, skip 5, and do it all over again until we get all the way back to the end of our chain rope. And I'll see you here when we've gotten to the end again. Chain 5, skip 5, triple crochet 5. Here we are, almost at the end. We're going to skip our final 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Putting a triple crochet into the 6th. Loop over, pull through 2, loop over, pull through 2, loop over, pull through 2. And that goes into our final chain, which was our very first chain. We have, nope, there's a 4th one there. Sometimes they can get tangled up. 4 chains, 4 loops, through 2, through 2, through 2. Now to finish off, or follow out, as it's usually abbreviated FO, you're going to snip off about the length of your original tail. Then you're going to pull until you have 2 tails. Now what we're going to do is tie it in a knot, these 2 tails in a knot at the end, but not so tight as to squish our crochet. So we don't want that. They've bunched together, that's too tight. So how we do this is we do 2 knots, get them close together. See, we have 2 knots that are close together but not together. I like to stick a finger in through under the bottom and then pull the knots tight so that the finger prevents them from going too tight as to squish our triple crochet. So now we have a firm knot at the end and our triple crochet is not squished. There, you can see it better. It was in focus for a second there. Okay, and now we move on to row 2, since we have all of our chain and our triple crochets. And we'll move on to row 2. Just going to start with the green, and we just do the slip stitch, the slip knot, insert our hook, and just like with the first row, we chain 158, or for the adult scarf, 308. Just loop over, pull through, loop over, pull through. I'll see you when you have all your chains. Okay, here we are with our 158 chains in our second row color. And we're going to do the same thing we did last time, which is 2 loops over. We are going to triple crochet in the 5th chain from the hook. See it up, there's 1, 2, what is it? Oh, you can see it got that 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 is right here next to my thumb. So we're going to loop into that one. There. Loop over, pull through, loop over, pull through 2. If we can get some focus back here. Okay, we're pulling through 2 and pulling through 2 more. Just like we did with the first time around. Loop over, pull through 2, loop over, pull through 2, loop over, pull through 2. And for the 5th one, or this will be the 4th triple crochet. And there we have we've successfully turned around, and we have our what looks like 5 triple crochets. And just like the first time, we chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Should be very well rehearsed at chains. And here we're going to take our hook out, pull out the loop so you don't lose it later, and we're going to now combine it and interlock it into our first row. Find the end excuse me, of your first row. You'll start from behind, go through the first hole where we chained and skipped to between our triple crochets. So we're going through this one, we're going to weave it in and out, we're going to go into the next one, and then go behind and back through, go over, in, behind, and back through, all the way to the end, or the beginning. It's all the same. And here I like to give it a slip knot so that it holds tight, or at least holds while I do the crocheting on the other end. Not so much that it actually ties a knot that won't come undone, but just so much that it holds so that I can make it a little taunt along the way. And then we start again, and with very few exceptions, it is precisely as it was before. When you put your hook back in, you want to make sure that the yarn you're pulling on is moving on top. See how when I pull, the working yarn is on top of the hook. otherwise it will twist your yarn. And, and here we are going to, we've already done our 5 chains, so our next is to skip 5 chains on the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Go into the 6th, but we need to double over and do our triple crochet. And there's 1 triple. And we do our 5 in a row. There's 2. 3. 4. And 5. Then we chain for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you can see now how they are interlocking. Those are now locked together and they won't come out. And you just continue this all along, going first in front, and then this next set will be in back of the first row, and then you'll come back and always cross over on your chains. And I will do one more so you can see how it goes in the front. We did our 5, and we're crossing through and counting behind. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, into the 6th, loop over twice, into the 6th, loop over, pull through, and do our triple crochet 5 times, or it can just fall apart in my hand. And that makes 4. We got 1 more. Okay, and that's our 5. You chain 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And you can see now how you go in front and behind. And so we continue that all the way to the end. And we'll cut to the end where I will show you how to tie off and do your tassels. Okay, here we are, finishing up the second row, just like we finished the first one. We've chained our 5. We're going to skip 5. 1, 2, oops, sorry. Maybe you'd like to see. We've chained our 5. We're skipping 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Into the 6th chain. Two more. And sometimes this last one can be difficult to get into, so just get it in there. You might try moving it down over the flat part, the finger grip of your hook, to open it up a little bit more so you can get your hook through. And there we finished. And just like the first row, we snip it off without snipping my finger. That would be nice. Follow out, tie it in a knot without making it too tight. Like I said, I usually tie it into 2 knots, putting a finger in between it and the last crochet so that it doesn't become too tight. And there we have 2 interlocking rows. All the rest are just the same as the second one, weaving in and out of the one before. You're going to do 7 rows at a time. If you've bought the kit from my store, the Seahawks kit goes 4 rows of blue, and in the video this doesn't look very neon green, but it is neon green, and there's 3 rows of these, so there's 7 rows. Yeah, do them that way. And if you bought the rainbow kit, then it's 1 row of each. You can do any order you like in those. I'm going to show you now how to do the tassels on the end, and the tassels are also going to hide your tails. Move that up. These tails you have here, from tying your knots and starting and stopping, following out, I'm going to hide those in the tassel. So what I do is I'll take my yarn that I'm working with, and I will go about as long as my forearm, so about to your elbow, or however long you would like it to be. And I'll cut one off, and then you'll do one for each of the rows. I do 5 of these strings for each of the ends of the rows. So here I have 2 ends of the blue. I would normally have 4 rows of blue, so I'd have 8 ends of blue, so I'd do 40 strings. But today I'm only going to do 10 because I only have these 2. So I'll meet you back here when I have all of my strings cut. You'll also do them for the other color as well. Okay, here we are. We've got 5 blue, 5 green, 5 blue, 5 green. We're going to tie them on. Let's start with the blue. I'm going to take my tassels and sort of spin them so that they become kind of firm and pokey, and place it between the last 2. This is actually chains, but it was acting as a triple crochet. Place it between those 2. Then we will make them even so that the scarf hangs at the bottom, and we will tie them in a knot. And a second knot, just to make sure that they don't come undone. Kids like to pull on strings. And this one is for a child-size scarf. And we do the same thing with the green. Spin it just helps to get it easier to work with. Again, we have the end of our scarf in between the last 2 triple crochets. Then we make sure that it is at the center. Then we tie it in a knot and another knot. And we do the same thing on the other side. Only this time we're going to work on hiding our tails, the ends of our string, so that they don't show. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Go in between the last 2 and set it at about at center. And then we're going to put one tail on either side. They were tied in a knot already. And then we're going to tie the whole thing in a knot, all 6 pieces on each side. Now, can't even tell that our tail was there. Tie it a second time to ensure it stays secure. And who can tell which side is which? Where you began and where you ended. They both look the same. Again, I'll show you that one more time with the blue. The last 2 here. One goes on one side, one goes on the other. And then we loop them around. And there's your tassel. Very secure. Of course, you're going to want to have the 7 rows, like I have over here. After this, after you've gotten your 7 rows and you have your tassels on all the rows, you might find that your tassels look a little ragged or ratty. This one goes a lot longer than all the others. That could have been a tail that was just very long. It's better to have a very long tail than a very short one, because you don't want to cut too short. Like this one here, I have a very short tail. You don't want to cut your tassel too short. So sometimes it's better to make sure you have a very long tail. A good way I've found to cut all of your tassels to the same length is to take your hook and go in through the bottom where you tied your tassel on, and through the bottom of each one, and you kind of layer them all on to your hook. And this is both sides of the scarf. We're going to layer this one onto there. And we kind of comb it out as we go. Try to get them all straight. And remember, we're doing this side as well at the same time so that they are all the same length. You might want to do this, you might not. Depends on how particular you are. I happen to be very particular. Some people are not so particular. There are other not nice words people call particular, but I'll just stick with particular. I'll get a couple more here. Get them all on. Okay, so now they're all on, and you have all the tassels at about the same place. So you're going to want to try to brush them out as best you can. This is not going to be perfect. Unless you want to measure each individual tassel and make sure they are all the same length. Might be a little more than particular at that point. But if that's what floats your boat, go for it. And then you want to take your scissors and cut them all at the same spot. Thinking about right here is good. So I'm coming through with the scissors and cutting them all in a straight line. And after a while of having the scarf, sometimes the tassels can start to look a little frayed. And kind of like a haircut, you'll want to go through and cut them all at the same length again. Give them a little trim, get the dead ends off. These are not my best scissors. And there we go. And all of those come off. Okay, I'm a little more particular than that. There. And so they are all about the same size. Some are a little more stubborn than others. Alright. And then you can just take your hook out, and there's your scarf. Ready to go. Okay, like I said, this was the Seahawks scarf in the Seahawks colors. I also should have many different styles available shortly in the shop, listed in the description below. They are very warm, and we're using very soft yarn, Caron Simply Soft, in case you needed to know. For the Seahawks scarf here, I'm using neon green. You can see that. Well, neon green and dark country blue. I don't have the label on it right now. If you bought the kit from my shop listed below, it comes with enough yarn in each color to make one adult size scarf, which is about twice the size of this one we just made here, or 2 children's size scarves, as the math will add up there. If you have any questions, concerns, comments, if you need any help, leave a comment below and I will try to help you as best I can. And so that's the tutorial for making the interlocking scarf. Happy hooking! Oh, I mean crochet.